right, so welcome all. Thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of this sports training on track and field. This will kind of be ran very similar to what we did for the basketball skills and team basketball one. If you were on that, I'm gonna just go over some general Special Olympics Iowa information, then move on to practices and training, and then go into explaining all of the events that Special Olympics offers that you can participate at our area levels. And then we'll have some time for question and answers at the end. I'm hoping that it'll take around half an hour for me to talk through all the information. And then we'll obviously have time for questions and answers. So hopefully get everybody done and out of here within the hour. So any chance we can get to remind people to be getting athletes' physicals up to date. We try to remind people to be doing so. All athletes' physicals do expire every 3 years. And also be keeping those copies of physicals on your files and it practices in any events in case of an emergency. As well as coaches be getting all of your information up to date as well. That includes a Class A volunteer application that does expire every 3 years, projective behaviors training and quiz, general orientation and quiz. That general orientation is a one and done. So even if you did it 5 or 6 years ago, you do not need to redo that one. But if you are a newer coach, definitely be getting that done. And then the concussion training also expires every 3 years. If you have any questions or not sure where any of your athletes or your coaches are at with expiration dates, please do be contacting your regional directors for any delegation and coaches reports. If you do not know who your regional director is, I will be breaking that down. So covering the central region is Dallas Hinkhouse. Dallas covers the central area, west central area, and south central area. Covering the eastern part of the state is Sydney Dahmer. She covers northeast area, east area, east central, and southeast areas. And then myself, Katie Weiss, I cover the western part of the state, which includes north, north central, northwest, and southwest. After area games, you will probably notice that you get a lot more communication than from Sean Damaris and Kirsten Seltzer. They're the ones that lead our state games. Sean is the director of state games, and then Kirsten does all of the GMS entries for the state games. Registrations entry forms can be found on our website, soiowa.org. You can find those underneath our competition tabs, and if you click on participation forms. And then if you scroll down, you'll find the track and field form under the track and field tab. Entry scores for athletes should be based on their best efforts, not their average scores. So when you're practicing, be sure to be recording and find out what their best effort is and submit that time or distance for their track entries. Deadlines for area competitions will vary. You can find those under what the deadline is for your area underneath the area competition tab on our website. If you have any questions on your area events, please do contact your regional director. They can help you out. There will only be the PDF forms available for track and field. The online entry forms will not be available. We do ask with those PDF forms, if it is at all possible, please be typing out the entries on that. Just makes it a little easier on our end to read those. After all of your entries are due, we will put them into our system, which we call GMS. And then within the week or two of those entry deadlines, we'll be looking in your email inbox for a registration report. And we really ask that you review those reports. The big things to take note of on that is the birth dates of athletes, making sure that they have the correct qualifying score or time or distance, making sure they're in the correct event. And also included on those registration reports is another way to double check if they have updated medical forms and that they've submitted a participant release form for that athlete. And then that is also included for any unified partners that are in any relays. It will say whether or not they have the participant release form on that report. A delegation manager or head coach can request a sports rule exception for an athlete, which we call a special privilege form. Those do need to be submitted when you submit your entry forms. If that form is approved, then only that coach or one-on-one will be allowed on the track or the field during competition. If you have any questions on if you have an athlete that you think maybe needs a special privilege, please be contacting us. And we're happy to talk through those kind of situations to see if a form needs to be filled out. Those forms can be found on our website at soiowa.org under Get Involved in the participation forms. Okay. Going into our next segment, practices and training. Athletes are to practice 8 weeks or for a total of 10 hours prior to competition. The more an athlete can practice or participate, that's better for everybody. And we do encourage, I know right now, I was just talking about how there's potentially a snowstorm hitting later this week, that it is very tough to get those practices in. So we do encourage, throughout the year, you can always be practicing running and the field events, and even starting in the fall for those practices. We also really encourage you to challenge athletes. We have a lot of athletes that participate in the 50-meter dash and the softball throw, which is wonderful, but that just makes those events more competitive. So if you are able to, I would definitely encourage to challenge athletes to complete in not longer dashes or other field events. Another thing to take note of when you are submitting those entries, that all entries need to be in the metric system. So please be using centimeters and meters when you're submitting those field events. Cleats or spikes may not be worn at any area or state competition. Some general competition rules and guidelines. So this slide may not pertain to you depending on how your area event is ran. Some of them, we do have to have the field events and the running events going at the same time in order for schools to get back to school on time. So if that's a situation that you're in and you really need to be paying attention, if an athlete is, maybe waiting their turn for a field event, but they also have a running event coming up, please have somebody go over and report to, one of the places to make sure that they know that the athlete is coming and that we do not scratch them. So if you unfortunately don't report it, there might be a chance that a participation award is given for those kind of situations. So just be mindful of that when the day of competition comes, that you're paying attention to where we're at with all of our events. We try really hard to schedule it so those don't overlap, but sometimes logistically that's just unavoidable. So
Katie, this is Christina. We're going to switch interpreters now.
Perfect. Good deal. Athletes who receive assistance from any person may be disqualified during a race. This excludes the 25-meter walk with me or the 25-meter push me please events. So if you do have an athlete that may need assistance during a walk, it is best to put them in the 25-meter walk with me or the push me please. This also includes pacing by anybody not participating in the race. For some reason, I see this a lot with especially relays. I think people just get really excited during relays that they're running alongside of an athlete. Be sure that you're communicating with your athletes, unified partners, other coaches, that will result in that athlete or team getting disqualified. So be sure that they are not doing that for any sort of race event. In all of the 50-meter, 100-meter, 200-meter, and 400-meter events, athletes must stay in their lanes the whole entire way. If an athlete is judged to run out of their lane and they are in the way of another athlete, this may result in a disqualification. So make sure that you are practicing with your athletes that they need to stay in their lane the whole way to avoid that. I would also really encourage for those relay teams to be practicing those athletes to stay in their lanes after they hand off the baton. We have seen situations where athletes, are wanting to get off the track and then they get in the way of an athlete that has just passed off the baton. The 200-meter and the 400-meter run and walk will use a stagger start. The 800-meter run, athletes will stay in a lane for the first turn, and then they'll be able to cut in and utilize the first couple lanes for the rest of the race. The 1500-meter and the 2K use a waterfall start, and they'll be able to cut right away. Event overview for track and field. Athletes can participate in up to 2 events and 1 relay. An athlete can participate in 1 throwing event and 1 jumping event, but they cannot participate in a lead-up event for either running or jumping or throwing. So for an example, they cannot participate in both standing long jump and running long jump, and they cannot participate in mini javelin and or softball throw and or shot put. They have to choose one of those events to participate. But if they wanted to participate in the running long jump and the shot put and just do 2 field events and no running events, they can do that. Relay teams consist of 4 athletes. The divisions that we have broken up for relay teams are co-ed, which is made up of 2 males and 2 females, a female team, which is all 4 females, a male team, which could be either 3 males, 1 female, or 1 male and 3 females, or 4 males, or a unified relay, which would be 2 athletes and 2 unified partners. And do be aware for the unified relays, we will not be breaking those up into divisions or to divisions by gender. They'll just be broken up into unified and then their age groups. The age groups will be 8 to 15 or 16 to 21 or 22 and older for relays. In the relays, those age divisions are determined by the oldest team member of that relay. We do have running and walking relays available in the 4x100 meter. And if an athlete who you registered to run in the run or walk in a relay is not able to attend for some reason the day of competition, you can replace it with another athlete as long as it does not change their category. For example, a junior female relay must stay a junior female relay. And the substitute athlete must already be competing in the area competition, and they can't be a part of another relay. Developmental events that we offer are the 25-meter walk with me. I had already talked about that a little bit. This is the lead up event to the 25-meter walk. This is for athletes who require a person or a guide to walk alongside of them for balance and safety. The 25-meter walk is for athletes who can walk independently on their own with the use of a cane or a walker. Do keep in mind with the 25-meter walk that if an athlete is participating in that and they are completing the 25 meters in faster than 12 seconds, that they should be placed in a 50-meter dash or 50-meter walk. A newer event that we added within the last year is a 25-meter push me please. This is for athletes who are not able to push a wheelchair independently. But with this, do keep in mind that an athlete does need to be indicating either verbally or a hand gesture to be moving forward. So for whoever is pushing them, they need to be directed by the athlete to be moving forward. Other developmental events that we offer are the wheelchair events. This is the 25-meter manual race, the 30-meter manual slalom, the 30-meter motorized slalom, and the 30-meter motorized straight. We also offer a relay for wheelchair events, which is a 4x25-meter wheelchair shuttle relay. The slalom is that cones are placed every 5 meters, and the athlete is weaving in and out of those cones. There will be a 3-second penalty added if an athlete is weaving in and out of those cones and knocks over a cone. And then as well as if an athlete misses a cone, they need to be directed to go back around that cone. The field event that we offer for developmental events is the tennis ball throw, and this is for athletes who throw less than 10 meters. And if an athlete does throw more than 10 meters, they should be placed in the softball throw. As entries are coming in, we are on the lookout for that. And if we have qualifying scores that are coming in as 10 meters, we will be contacting delegation managers or coaches and letting them know that that athlete does need to be moved into the softball throw and that you should be practicing that as well. So if you even have an athlete that's kind of borderline, that's getting kind of 9 or 10 meters, it'd be best to just go ahead and have them practice the softball throw and have that as another plan. Going into our walking events, and with all of our walking events, an athlete must walk. If you do feel like an athlete who maybe would be in a walking event may get really excited, get that adrenaline rush the day of competition and may take off in a run, it'd probably be best to be on the safe side and just go ahead and put them in a dash. An athlete in a walking event must maintain unbroken contact with the ground. So one foot must be on the ground at all times. If they do break that stride, this may result in a disqualification and a participation award. We also encourage to be working with athletes who are in these events to work on their arm movements, because that could be very beneficial in their race. The events we offer for walking is the 50-meter walk, the 100-meter walk, the 400-meter race walk, the 800-meter race walk, the 2K race walk, the 4x100-meter race walk relay, and then the 4x100-meter unified race walk relay. Dashes and runs that we offer is the 50-meter dash, the 100-meter dash, the 100-meter manual wheelchair straight, 100-meter motorized wheelchair straight, the 200-meter dash, the 400-meter dash, the 4x100-meter relay, the 4x100-meter unified relay, the 800-meter run, and the 1500-meter run. We do also offer a pentathlon. This is for athletes ages 14 and older. That consists of 5 events that they get scored on. It's the running long jump, the shot put, the high jump, the 100-meter dash, and the 400-meter dash. They combine all of that score, and an athlete does receive 1 medal.
Katie,
yes.
Can you repeat the different 5 events, please?
Yes. So that is the running long jump, the shot put, the high jump, the 100-meter dash, and the 400-meter dash.
Thank you.
Perfect. And if an athlete is participating in a pentathlon, they can participate in a relay as well. This is a really good fit for athletes that are maybe looking for a challenge. Going into our field events, starting off with the long jumps, we do offer 2 different ones. We have the standing long jump And then we have the running long jump. So the standing long jump is a lead up event to the running long jump. So athletes should be kind of striving to eventually participate in the running long jump. With any of these field events, all attempts should be non-consecutive. They will be taking 3 attempts at the long jumps. And the distance is measured from the takeoff point to the closest impression they make with any body part. So the really important thing to remember when you're practicing these events is you want athletes to fall forward, because if they do like fall backwards and like have an impression of their hand, then that wherever their hand landed is where it would be measured. So it's best to move forward so then they get that further distance. The standing long jump, the toes need to be close to the starting line, but not over the starting line. You will assume a crouching position, and then you swing your arms down and back as far as possible, and then you move them forward as you extend the legs and take off for the jump. You bend forward at the waist while jumping to further elevate the legs, and athletes must take off with both feet. On the next slide, I will be showing a quick video of what the standing long jump looks like. The running long jump is a little bit different, but very similar. They'll be running along a right of way, and they need to take off with 1 foot. And there will be a board that athletes will have to jump off of that will be 1 meter away from the sand pit. I will also be showing a video of that after the standing long jump video.
This activity is to help your child practice the standing long jump action, helping them jump for distance. All you need is some items to
Sorry,
use as
I'm trying to
markers
get
of
the
a soft
close
landing area,
captioning to work.
and if possible, a tape measure. Children take it in turns to practice a standing long jump, 2-footed jump to a 2-footed landing. Encourage children to watch each other and see what they do to help them jump further. Such as, use backward to forward arm swing action. Bend then extend the legs fast. Demonstrate control and balance on landing. Landing with soft knees, bending at the knees, and with feet shoulder width apart and flat feet. Measure how much the jumps improve after some practice.
Right. And this next one's running long jump. I was struggling to find a good short video on this. The one thing I don't like about this video is that there's not a board that needs to be jumped off of. So do keep that in mind when viewing this video.
The running long jump should first be taken from a short and moderately paced run-up, ensuring that the athlete does not slow down before takeoff. Throughout the activity, the eyes are focused forward and the body is kept in an upright position until landing. Following a controlled run-up, the last step into the takeoff should be slightly shorter than the others. The athlete should be upright with no backward lead, as the foot of the planted takeoff leg strikes the ground in a flat position. As the takeoff leg extends from the hip, knee, and ankle, the knee of the other leg drives forcefully forward and up. This punching movement of the knee is assisted at the same time by a powerful drive upwards of the bent arm on the same side as the takeoff leg. This is an explosive extension of the running action.
So the 2 videos on this are these links are a little bit different. They're a little bit longer, so I wanted to show you a shorter video. So we will be emailing this PowerPoint presentation out. So if you want to watch a longer video, I would suggest going back and watching those 2 videos on each of those events. I'm not going to go too much in the high jump or show a video on that. We have about 2 or 3 athletes, I think, in the state of Iowa that participate in the high jump. If you do have an athlete that's interested in participating in that, they do need to be 12 years or older. Do keep in mind that an athlete needs to jump off with 1 foot. The minimum opening height for the high jump is 1 meter. And athletes cannot dive forward over the bar if they're participating in the high jump. And again, we'll be sending this out. So if you do have an athlete interested in the high jump, I would suggest going back through and watching those videos.
Katie,
Yes,
we're going to switch interpreters.
perfect.
Thank you.
All right, going into throwing events. Like I said, all field events should be non-consecutive attempts. So same with throwing events, each throw needs to be non-consecutive. The distance is measured between the middle of the start line and then where the object lands. An athlete must choose between either the softball throw or the mini javelin. They cannot participate in both of those. Do keep in mind, like I mentioned with the tennis ball throw, same concept with the softball throw. If an athlete is throwing more than 30 meters, they need to be choosing between either being put in the shot put or the mini javelin. And we will be watching for those as entries come in. And if you have athletes that are throwing further than that distance, we will be contacting you and seeing what other events they would like to participate in. That's just for safety in some of these areas. 30 meters is quite a long ways to throw a softball. Encourage athletes in practice to step and throw the ball. That'll help increase the distance of the ball. Step with the opposite leg of the throwing arm, and then athletes can either throw the ball overhand or underhand. For the mini javelin, this is for athletes. Sorry. So for the 400 meter or 400 gram javelin, that is designed for male athletes 16 years and older. The 300 gram javelin is for all female athletes, and then male athletes 8 to 15. And when you're practicing those, they do need to be landing on the nose of the javelin. If it does land on any other part of the javelin, that attempt will be considered a scratch. I do have a video on the next slide, so I'm not going to go through all this long list of how you need to be practicing the mini javelin. This next video does go through that. It is a little bit of a longer video.
Welcome to the Special Olympics Monster quick guide to the mini javelin. This video will help you to identify the correct equipment for the mini javelin and also to break the mini javelin down into 4 component parts: the grip, the stance, the throw, and the landing. The correct javelin for Special Olympics is made from a rigid plastic with a rubber nose. It is 700 millimeters long and available in 2 different weights. All female athletes and all male athletes aged 15 and younger use a 300 gram mini javelin. All male athletes aged 16 or over use a 400 gram mini javelin. And just to note, it's sometimes referred to as a turbo javelin. So let's take a look at Roshi as she performs the mini javelin. And we'll start by looking at Roshin's grip. You'll see that her thumb and index finger are just behind the reached area, and the remaining fingers are wrapped around the reached area. And here's a close-up from a different angle. Roshin starts by placing her feet together next to the white line. She then widens her stance and takes a half a step forwards to aid with the trunk rotation necessary for a good throw. She looks and points in the direction she wishes the mini javelin to go, raises it up to her ear, then lifts the mini javelin straight up, bringing it back and throwing in a smooth movement over her shoulder with a consistent follow through. In order to be a legal throw, the mini javelin must land nose first. Correct throwing technique will ensure that this happens. So let's take one last look at Roisin and bear in mind all the points I have discussed in this video. Welcome.
Alrighty, and then going over our last field event, the shot put. This is for athletes 12 years and older. The men will use a 40 kilogram shot put, and women will use a 30 kilogram. Athletes and wheelchairs may not touch the edge of the stop board or the top of the iron ring in the shot put area, and it is illegal to touch the inside of the stop board or the iron band when participating. And again, I have a short video to show that can better demonstrate than you sitting here and reading off this long list of proper throwing technique.
Hi, I'm Julia and I'm here with the Lee Valley Athletic Stadium, and today I'm going to show you how to throw a shot. The starting position is to hold the shot put in the fingers, holding it close into the neck, with the feet out wide, the back leg bent down, facing towards the back of the net. That's your starting position. From there, you're going to twist round quickly, leading with the elbow, pushing the shot up about 45 degrees. Some key points to remember: to keep the elbow high, the shot put close to the neck, starting in a low position, leading with the hips and moving with a quick movement towards the front and extending the arm out. It's worth noting that there are other techniques for putting the shot, but these are much more advanced. And that's how to throw a shot put.
Alrighty, that concludes me going through all of the information on track and field. Next, we will just have a little pop quiz. Don't worry, you're not getting graded on it. Just if you want to just, answer them to yourself, or you can answer them in the group chat if you would like. I'll just be reading them off and then going over the answers as we go. So question 1, track and field competitions are conducted using which measuring system? Either A, metric system, or B, inches, feet, and yards. Great, seeing a lot of A's in the chat, and that would be correct. The metric system is what you would use to measure anything with track and field. Question 2, which of the following is not the number of track and field events that an athlete can participate in at a competition? Is it A, 1 individual event and 1 relay, B, 2 individual events and 1 relay, C, 2 individual events and 2 relays, or D, a pentathlon and 1 relay? Yes, C would be correct. 2 individual events and 2 relays. You may not participate in those. All the other ones are what an athlete can participate in. Number 3, an athlete can throw a softball more than 30 meters. If an athlete can throw a softball more than 30 meters, should transition into the mini javelin or the shot put, or choose another track and field event. True or false? That is true. So yes, A is the correct answer on that. In the shot put event, male athletes use a 5 kilogram shot put and female athletes use a 3 kilogram shot put. Is that true or false? I have true on here, but I believe that that is actually false. It should be 5 kilograms for males and 4 kilograms for females. Question number 5. What is the penalty for an athlete who competes in a walking event and runs during the event? Is it A, the athlete is told to stop and restart the race? B, the athlete is disqualified and given a participation ribbon? Or C, the athlete is asked to leave the event? And the correct answer for that would be B. The athlete is disqualified and given a participation ribbon. I'm really sorry. I really don't know where all of these little markings are coming from. All right, question 6. Athletes cannot be in both a lead-up event and a regular event. For example, they can't participate in a standing long jump event and a running long jump event, or the softball throw and the shot put. Is that A, true, or B, false?
True.
That is true.
Ooh.
Athletes cannot participate in a lead-up event. They need to choose either one during event or one of the jumping events. Question 7. In the 50 meter, the 100 meter, the 200 meter, and the 400 meter track events, if an athlete runs out of their allotted lane, they can be disqualified. Is that true or false? The correct answer is true. This is if they are impinging on another athlete, they can be disqualified if they're running out of their lane. Question 8, which of the following are required during the shot put? A, the shot put is, the shot is put from the shoulder with one hand only. B, the shot put shall touch or be in close proximity to the chin. C, the hand is not to be dropped below the shoulder. D, the shot shall not be brought behind the shoulder, or E, all of the above. This one's a little more complex. I'm seeing a lot of E, all of the above answers, and that would be correct. Question 9, in the standing long jump event, can an athlete use just one foot to take off? In the standing long jump event. And B would be correct. No, you need to take off with 2 feet in the standing long jump event. Last question, number 10. Entries should be either A, best time and distance from the 8 weeks or 10 hours prior to competition of practice, or B, the average of all times and distances from the 8 weeks or 10 hours prior to competition. And A would be correct. Best time and distance. Additional resources for sports training and coaches guides and rules. Definitely visit our Special Olympics Iowa coaches guide that can be found on our website at soiowa.org under Get Involved and Coaches Guide. It should be under the 2022 to 2023 years. I would also encourage you visit Special Olympics North America's coaching resources website. Some of our coaches sections don't go quite into detail on the rules and setup of all of our events, but Special Olympics North America does a really good job of going further in depth. If you have any questions, I would also recommend it because they do have resources like how to conduct a practice, or like how you can set up a practice, warm-ups, cool downs, makes all of those kind of suggestions in those. Other sports trainings, we will be planning on doing a bowling sports training, probably late summer of this year. That will just be like this one. So we've kind of are doing those for all of our area events, for bowling, basketball, and track and field. Other sports trainings can be completed at any time on our website, soiowa.org, under Get Involved, Become a Coach, and you'll find all of our sports online training under that tab. We really appreciate all of you taking the time to attend this training. It just helps us get on the same page so we can have run smooth area events and onto our state events, and just have a really fun and fair competition for all athletes. So really appreciate you all taking the time. At this time, if anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself, or you can type them in the chat and we'll go through any questions that people have.
Hey, this is Ginger Halverson.
Katie?
I don't, oops, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna let you know to switch interpreters now.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Yes, Ginger, did you have a question?
Yeah, I'm just on this. I'm on Jan Hess's link because our school computers don't have Zoom. So
Oh,
he sent
okay.
me a link. So I'm on this. So if I get credit for taking this class.
Oh, okay, perfect.
This is Cindy Daigle, and Jen Runge is on with me as well.
Okay. If you could type her name in the chat, Cindy, that would be super helpful.
Jennifer, do you know how to do that? I hope she does. Otherwise, I'll have to send it in an email.
Yeah, that works too. Yep.
All right.
Yep. Yeah.
Eddie, this is Lois. I have to get off. I have to go to 40 hours.
Okay, no worries. Thank
Okay.
you for coming. Thank you for joining us, Lois.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Yep. Okay, so Ashley has a question. An athlete that maybe on crutches for the 50-meter walk. So Ashley, we do not offer a 50-meter walk with me. I guess, would this be a case that they'll just be, I mean, will they be able to walk independently on their crutches during the event? Yes. So yes, that would be fine. They can be in the 50-meter walk as long as they don't need assistance from somebody.
Is there, Katie, is there a limit to the number of relay teams that you can have?
No. Nope. As long as, I mean, as long as just one, like, as long as the athletes that are participating are only participating in one relay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Would love to have lots of relays. Yes, there was a question in the chat for the push me please, if an athlete can use a switch to communicate go. Yes, they can use any sort of communication as long as they're communicating to go. That is how it needs to be, that the person pushing them is moving them forward is on the athlete's verbal or nonverbal cues. Ashley, I'm not sure on that. We'll maybe have to check into that if an indoor option is available for your area. So Annie, it'd be best if they could just be constantly communicating that they want to be pushed forward throughout the race, throughout the 25 meters. That would be if they could continue to tell them that they need to go forward. Okay, I stated that a relay. Yes, so an athlete can be 3 females and 1 male, but they will be put into a male division, even though they only have 1 male. And they will be registered for whatever the oldest athlete's age is. Ashley, I believe that you are from one of my areas. So if you want to just shoot me an email about that, we can discuss that further. Yeah, Beth, I can see how practicing for track is a struggle. It's not the greatest time of year, especially living in the wonderful state of Iowa, to get practices in. Just really encourage you to try your best to get multiple practices in to get the best accurate qualifying scores and times, and try to get as close to those 8 practices or 10 hours that you possibly can.
This is Cindy Daigle again.
Yes,
I don't really have a bike or a question about track and field, but the biking. We have a whole bunch of people that want to bike, and every time it gets cleared off a little bit, it snows again.
Right.
Are we able to use like previous times, or can't we do that?
Sean, do you want to hop in and answer that question?
Hey, Cindy. Yes, I mean, like anything, we obviously want to try to get the scores in as possible. But if we, if you guys competed last year,
Yeah.
we're going to try to work with each delegation and each, situation. Bottom line is we want to make sure that's not the thing that you can't compete in, because
Right.
get you out on the bikes. I know several had issues last year across the state. We didn't have a great weather last year, so like
Well, and previously I tried to do it in the spring or in the fall, and then if we couldn't do it, we were good, but it didn't happen this year. Now we've had a horrible winter.
Yeah, so like with everything, just trying to get those in, just it makes a huge difference. But last year there was a couple situations where we were looking at previous scores, but then because of the gap, we just weren't able to. So we'll work with you, but obviously,
all right, thank you.
Our hope is that everybody gets.
Yep, we're happy to answer any questions about track and field, and also can open it up to other Special Olympics related questions as well, while we're all here. Marcia, I'm not sure which area you're from. It depends on which area. We have different deadlines. You can find all of the area competition deadlines on our website underneath area competitions. Central, I can look that up real quick.
March 28th.
March 28th is when the central area track registrations are due. Yes, Charlene, you can go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much for joining us. If you don't have any other questions and you got to get going, we just appreciate that you hopped on today.
It's actually March 24th. I looked at that wrong. Sorry.
Marcia, if you're still on, it's March 24th for that deadline.
I'm still here, and that makes it worse.
It's only 4 days, right?
Well, like she said, though, I don't know. The weather's still not great, right? So,
right.
Okay, we'll do what we can, though. Thanks.
Now, Katie, do you know off the top of your head for your area for the West Central, is it about the same time due date for track?
I can look it up, and I actually do not cover the West Central area anymore. Dallas Hinkhouse is your regional director for that.
Oh, for Polk County, I thought it was you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It was me.
I have it right here, Katie. So the registration deadline is 3/21 and the competition date is 4/11.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's all coming up fast.
Sydney said it was the 28th on the website. On the website, it says the 28th, not the 24th, but I think the 24th.
Yeah, it was the 28th.
Done?
Really?
Well, thank you, Katie. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome, Mary. We'll see you later this week.
Yep. See you this weekend. Have a good night.
You too. Alrighty, it looks like our numbers are dwindling quickly now. So thank you all for joining us. We will send out the PowerPoint and the recording of this if you would like to view this. Other than that, we will get you updated on our end that you will be trained in track and field for the next 3 years. We just, again, really appreciate you jumping on. If you are going to Spring Classic, we look forward to seeing you all later this week. So have a great night.